Hello, everyone, and welcome to this event in partnership with Aarhus University. My name is Stefania, and I will be moderating this webinar on behalf of Docsity. So I see that our first participants have joined us, so a warm welcome to all of you. We will wait just a few minutes before we begin to ensure everyone has a chance to connect. In the meantime, please don't hesitate to say hi in the chat. You can find it here down on Zoom. And again, it's my pleasure to welcome you today to this webinar, where we will explore the various STEAM programs available at Aarhus University, along with information on scholarship, student life, and also career prospects. We will also hear a testimony of an ex-student, so stay tuned. And thank you again for being here today, and a special thanks to our panelists. So I want now to introduce you Gitte, the Communications and Recruitment Manager at Aarhus University, and also Wilson, who studied biotechnology and chemical engineering as international student from Brazil, and that is now working in Denmark. We got also a Q&A session lined up after the presentation. This is your chance to ask your questions to Gitte and Wilson, so please don't be shy. Go ahead and type your questions and curiosity here in the Q&A box. We will be thrilled to answer them after the end of the presentation. And also, if you are interested in receiving the certificate of attendance issued by Docsity, stay tuned because we will give you more information after the session. So now, welcome again who join us now. I am Stefania, and I think that now we can start. So Gitte, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having us. I think I'll just start my presentation. As mentioned, my name is Gitte. I work at the Aarhus University with recruitment and communications. I mainly work to recruit international students for our master programs. And also with me today, I have Wilson, who's, as mentioned, a graduate from Aarhus University and now works in Denmark. And I'm sure he'll present a lot more about himself later. So first of all, Aarhus University is a public research university in Denmark. It's almost 100 years old. And together with Copenhagen University, they are the two largest universities in Denmark. Just below 40,000 students, around 10-12% are international students. We have a few famous alumni also who graduated from Aarhus University. His Royal Highness Crown Prince Frederik. And actually, Aarhus University is the only Danish university where the royal family have studied. Besides His Royal Highness Crown Prince Frederik, the Queen of Denmark also studied here in the 60s. She never finished a degree. She took some courses in political science and archaeology, and she actually lived on campus when she was a student here in the 60s. So she just lived in the dorm together with everyone else. And I think that says a lot also about how the lifestyle is in Denmark, that the future Queen of Denmark would live together with other students. But besides the royal family, we also had the former CEO of Lego, Jørgen V. Knudstrup, Bjarne Stoustrup. If you know anything about computer science, I'm sure you know him. He was the inventor of the C++ programming language. Lena Haug, the first researcher in the world to stop light. She now has her own lab at Harvard University. And also Anders Fogh Rasmussen, a former Secretary General of NATO. Our ranking, we rank in between the top 100 and top 150 in the world. So Aarhus University, as you can see, is a really, really good university when it comes to our ranking and teaching. And I hope that you will also get this impression after the presentation today. We also have a lot of partnerships around the world. This is gives our students many opportunities to go abroad during their studies if this is something that you are interested in. Learning at Aarhus University is research-based, so this means that you will be taught by active researchers in their field. So, for instance, you will be taught by a professor, one of the leading maybe in the world, if you study computer science and take a specializations in cryptology. This will actually be the professor who also teaches the class. The Scandinavian teaching style is what we call the way of learning also at Aarhus University, because it's a very informal way of learning. You'd call your professor by their first name. You would experience discussions in class. You would have study group with other classmates. And it generally see that it's not a one-way learning, but it's two-way, it's discussions, it's critical thinking, and this is because we believe this is the best way to prepare you for an excellent career afterwards. Also, a little bit about life in Denmark, since I'm guessing you might not be that familiar with Denmark and Aarhus. I brought this map. As you can see on one side here, you have the map of Europe, and where you can find Denmark just above Germany and just below Norway and Sweden. And then you can see on the map of Denmark, Aarhus right in the middle there, right out to the water on the Jutland Peninsula connected to Germany. It's a 3-hour drive from Copenhagen, and then it's 1 hour and 15 minutes to our smaller campus in Herning, where we also have a few programs. As you can see on the European map, we also easy access to the rest of Europe, and a lot of our international students take advantage of this when they're here. You can go to Berlin in a 6-hour drive or 1 hour flight. Same with Amsterdam. There's also very cheap flights to London. And yeah, you can go from the airport in Aarhus to a lot of different places in Europe. And with a Schengen visa, you can it's possible to visit all the EU countries as part of your residence permit in Denmark. Denmark, a lot smaller than Brazil. We are just below 6 million people in total. The capital is Copenhagen. Everyone here speaks Danish, but almost everyone also speaks English. So it's a good way to get an international experience without going to an English-speaking country. Also, Denmark is a very safe and secure country. You would see students biking home after a night out, going back to their dorms, and it's perfectly safe to do that. We're also one of the happiest countries in the world, and this is mainly due to the trust issues in Denmark. We are people that trust both the government, each other, other institutions. So, and this gives us some kind of happy and safe feeling, I guess. At least that's what research says. And also, coming back to the language, Denmark is ranked as one of the best nations in the world to speak English as a second language. So this means that even though you just go to the supermarket, you can get by without knowing any Danish. And I'm sure Wilson will also agree to this when he gives his presentation, that you don't actually need to learn any Danish to live and work in Denmark and study, of course. Of course, we offer free Danish classes to our international students, so it is a good opportunity maybe to learn just a little bit of Danish. Then a little bit about the living cost in Denmark. Many people have heard that Scandinavian and Nordic countries are very expensive, and they are, but it's still very possible to live here as a student, also as an international student. And the Aarhus is also a lot cheaper than if you go to Copenhagen or some of the other big cities in Scandinavia. As you can see here, the rent normally is around $350 to $600 per month. Most students will live in a dorm, and then it will be closer to $300, $450 if you have a regular dorm room where you have your own room and your own bathroom, and then you share a kitchen with other people. Food and daily expenses, of course, can vary a lot depending on who you are. And then, of course, as an international student, you'll be covered by the Danish healthcare scheme, which means that you can go to the doctor and the hospital for free. I also brought an example of a student budget, which I'll show you after this slide. Because also a little bit about how to then finance your studies. As an international student in Denmark, you are allowed to work part-time for 20 hours per week while you study. And then after you graduate, if you are interested in staying in Denmark, you can stay for up to 3 years after graduation your residence permit will automatically be ready for this to look for relevant job. And then if you find a job, of course, you're welcome to stay longer. The unemployment rate is very low. Right now, I think it's 3.7 in general for the country, but within engineering, computer science, it's close to 0. We also have a pretty famous work-life balance where we have a general 37-hour work week and 5 weeks of paid holiday. And here you have a student budget. This is Vidur from India. He studied computer science at Aarhus University and just graduated this summer, and at the same time landed his first job here in Denmark with Airbus. He lived in one of the cheapest dorms in Aarhus, as you can see, so it was only $310 per month. He did his own cooking in the beginning. His budget was very tight, so it was closer to $35 per week, but then later when he found work, he could get it up to $50 per week. Then he also have gym membership, which is 200 Danish kroners per month. And he bought his bike, which is 500 Danish kroner in total. That's a used bike price. If you got a new bike, of course, it's a lot more. But you can also rent a bike where you pay a monthly fee. Then he had an income. He started out working first as a dishwasher at a restaurant, but then he was promoted to chef. Here he worked in the beginning 18, 19 hours per week and had a salary of $17.5 per hour. Later, he got a job as a student developer using his skills from computer science and got a job at Grundfos, one of the Danish companies. Then the city of Aarhus. Aarhus is one of the biggest cities in Denmark. It's the second biggest city. It's a lot smaller than the big cities in Brazil, but for Danish measures, it's quite big. And this means that you have everything that you will find in big cities. So music, concerts, things when you go out. Also, a lot of companies have their headquarters in Denmark, international companies, so there's also a lot of opportunities to find student jobs, even though you don't speak any Danish. It's also the youngest city in Denmark when you look at the population. 1 in every 6 people living in Aarhus is a student. So you'd find a lot of young people and a lot of activities for young people as well. At Aarhus University, we have around 28 STEM study programs taught fully in English. You can find them all on our website, masters.au.dk, but I'll also go through some of them tonight. Oh, tonight here, not with you, but today. Also, I wanted to mention that as a student at Aarhus University, there's a possibility to going into a PhD as well. As you can see here, the top bar is the traditional way. You would do a 2-year master program, and then you can go into the PhD program, which in Denmark is a 3-year program. But there's also the opportunity that after starting the master program, maybe 1 year into the program, you have discovered that you are quite fond of research. Maybe you've done an R&D project with one of the research groups. Maybe you talk to a professor about some sort of project together, and then you can actually switch your master degree to do a combined master and PhD for the remaining time. This means that the first 2 years will be a combined master and PhD, where you'll, instead of paying tuition fee, you'll earn a small salary. And then when you graduate your master after the 2 years, then you'd have 2 years left where you'd be full-time PhD student, which means that you would be considered an employee and have the same benefits as an employee in Denmark and at Aarhus University. The lowest one here is normally for our students here from Denmark when we've already seen exceptional talent in the bachelor, so they would start a combined master and PhD from the beginning. So a little bit about admission at Aarhus University. We have 2 application periods. The big one, where you start in late August, around late August, 1st of September, you have to apply between 1st of November and 15th of January. Then we also have a winter start, but that's only for our engineering programs. And the deadline for that just ended here at 15th of September. And then you start in the end of January. The annual tuition fee rate for our programs within natural and technical sciences is 15,300 euros. We do have tuition fee waivers available for selected top students, and this is something you don't apply for, but you'll automatically be considered when you apply for the program. There's an application fee of 100 euros. This money will be given back to you if you decide to accept your admission offer and come and study at Aarhus University. Then a little bit more about the tuition fee waiver. As mentioned, you don't apply for it, you're automatically considered for it when you apply for admission. And as mentioned, it's for top applicants from each program. And this means that we look at your grades in your bachelor, specifically from the programs relevant to the master you apply for. So say you apply for civil and architectural engineering, then we would look at the grades you would have gotten in engineering courses in your bachelor and also math courses. And if they're really good, then you might be offered a scholarship. The scholarship covers the full 2 years tuition fee. So you will only need to pay for living expenses. And then a little bit more about the admission requirements. In general, you need a relevant bachelor in order to get into the master's program. So if you apply for a master's degree in computer science, you need a bachelor's degree in computer science. I'll get more into detail about what this means. Besides that, you also need an English language test. We accept both TOEFL and IELTS, and these are the levels 83 and 6.5. Also important to mention is that the English language test can actually be sent after the admission deadline. So if you apply before 15th of January and didn't have time to do it, then just make a note and saying you intend to take this English test later, and you just need to send it before 1st of May. And this is actually the only thing we need. We need your diploma and course descriptions from your bachelor degree, and then the English language test. We don't need any motivational letter, any GRE, GMATs, or anything like that. So it's pretty straightforward to apply for Aarhus University. These are some of the programs we offer. I'm going to go into detail just with a few of them to give you an idea of the structure. And then I encourage everyone to also check out the programs on our website to get more information. Also important to know is that we'll have a virtual open day on 1st of November, where we go into detail, where you can hear about our programs, just so a full presentation on each program. So if you're interested, for instance, in geology or geophysics, then you can do a full program where the program director of these programs will do a presentation, and also a student from the program will talk about what it's like to be a student here. We'll also have presentations on this day in more detail about how to apply. So sign up on our website for the webinar, Virtual Open Day on 1st of November. And even if the time doesn't match for your time zone, if you sign up, you'll get the recordings afterwards. So just a little bit about details about some of the programs. First of all, computer science, one of our bigger programs with international students. All of our master programs are 2-year programs, and all of them have 4 semesters. For many of them, you will see that the first year, the first 2 semesters, is where you'll have your specialization courses. And then in the 3rd semester, you can either do more specialization, electives, or study abroad. And the 4th semester is always devoted to the thesis. In computer science program, you choose at least 2 specializations, and you can see here which specializations we currently offer. And then a few words about the computer science program. As you can see here, we have a very close collaboration with many of the IT companies in the area, both IT companies, but also IT departments in the large international corporations. This means that there's excellent career opportunities, both for students and graduates. And as a student, we see that also the international students find relevant student jobs really quickly within many of these organizations. Aarhus University is also world leading in many of the computer science specializations. For instance, we're number 2 in the world in cryptography, number 9 in programming language, 19 in economics and computation, and 27 in algorithms and complexity. We also have a lot of events tailored for our students to encourage a great student environment. And this is an example of what we mean when you need a relevant bachelor degree in computer science. So to get into the master program in computer science, you need 20 ECTS in programming, 20 ECTS in computer systems, 20 ECTS in theoretical computer science, 10 ECTS in human-computer interaction, and 20 ECTS in basic subjects within math, probability theory, and statistics. And you might not have heard about the ECTS system before, but this is what we use in Europe. A bachelor degree is 180 ECTS, so this could give you an idea of how many credits you need within the different courses from your bachelor. Then engineering. We have 5 engineering programs at Aarhus University: biotechnology and chemical engineering, civil and architectural engineering, computer engineering, electrical engineering, and mechanical engineering. And I'll go through some of these right now. Again, as you can see, the first 2 semesters is a mix of compulsory courses and specialized courses. And then you have electives in the 3rd semester, and in the 4th semester you have your thesis. So first, computer engineering and electrical engineering. These are taught at the same department, but even in 2 different programs. But as you can see here, some of the mandatory courses are the same in the 2. So you would have some courses that everyone in the program will take, and then you will also have some specialized courses. These are the courses that everyone in the programs will do. Computer engineering on one side and electrical engineering on the other. And these are then the specialization packages we offer at computer engineering and electrical engineering. On the top right corner, you can see for the specialization package for electrical engineering, and on the lower one for computer engineering. And as you can see, again, some of them are the same for the 2 programs. The requirements for computer and electrical engineering, again, the same. You need a bachelor degree in either computer or electrical engineering. And to enter the program, you need at least 60 ECTS in courses within computer engineering, if you apply for that, or electrical engineering, if you apply for electrical engineering. Examples of that are also available on our website. And besides this, you need 20 ECTS in math, covering these areas. Then civil and architectural engineering. It's taught right now at our campus downtown. We have around 70 students in the program, and around 10% of these are international. At civil and architectural engineering, we have 5 study lines: infrastructure and geotechnical engineering, structural engineering, innovative structural design, smart buildings, construction management, and engineering. And again, you will have some mandatory courses, but then you also have electives. And as you can see in the 2nd and 3rd semester, you can take electives from some of the other study lines if that is what you're interested in. And in general, I can say that the master programs at Aarhus University are made so you can tailor them specifically for your interest and what you want with your career afterwards. So they're really flexible. This is just an example. If you study structural engineering, you would have the green ones are the mandatory courses. The blue ones is the specific ones for structural engineering. And then, as you can see, there's plenty of room also to do a lot of different elective courses. That can be electives within a civil and architectural engineering. It could also be that you wanted to study data science, or maybe do like a management course from our business school. That's also a possibility. You just need to get it approved by the program director. And I'll just jump here again. As you can see, the same with the requirements, just a little bit more specific here. Biotechnical and chemical engineering, I'll go over that pretty quick because Wilson also studied that, and we'll maybe talk a little bit about it. Here you study either biotechnology or chemical engineering. This is the structure and compulsory courses if you study biotechnology. And then if you study chemical engineering, this is what it looks like. And again, there's a mix of compulsory courses, study line courses, and electives. These are the elective specialization packets that you can choose from in this program. And the admission requirements. Again, it depends on, of course, if you want to study the biotechnology or chemical engineering field line. Bioinformatics is another course, the same. Here you choose 2 specializations. There's 3 specializations to choose from. And then you can either do electives or a project in the 3rd semester and then the thesis. And then I'll just end with this video with one of our professors. He came to Aarhus University around 10 years ago, and he was just promoted for full-time professor, and he got this
Meu nome é Rubens e atualmente eu sou professor titular aqui na faculdade de Aarhus, na Dinamarca. Mas a minha história começou 12 anos atrás, quando eu vim para cá como um estudante internacional para trabalhar na faculdade, para estudar na faculdade. Eu acabei decidindo ficar por aqui porque é uma cidade que não só oferece um bom ambiente de estudos, um bom ambiente de trabalho, mas um bom balanço entre a vida pessoal e a vida profissional. É uma cidade segura, é uma cidade onde a gente fica próximo da natureza, do mar, da floresta, de tudo, e ao mesmo tempo você consegue desenvolver o seu trabalho num ambiente altamente internacional e com pessoas muito capacitadas. Então, sendo assim, foi muito fácil a decisão de ficar em Aarhus quando eu tive aqui uma oportunidade de emprego, pois aqui eu consigo não só desenvolver meu currículo profissional, mas eu também consigo criar minha família, crescer como ser humano e aproveitar a vida também depois do trabalho.
Yeah, and I think
Meu nome é Rubens e atualmente eu...
all that's left to say is I hope that some of you will come and join us at Aarhus University. These are some of our students. These are student ambassadors. Our student ambassadors you can find on our website. The current students, where you can talk to them about what it's like to be a student and maybe also ask about the courses that they study. And now I'll stop sharing my screen and let Wilson continue to talk about what it's like to both be a student and living here in Denmark. Over to you,
Okay.
Wilson.
Yeah, thanks, Gitta. Thanks for the overview. Bring back memories of all the studies. Yeah, I've been asked to do the presentation in Portuguese, então eu vou mudar para português. Então, se alguém tiver algum problema, por favor, fala no chat. E daí eu mudo para inglês de volta. E daí eu vou compartilhar minha tela. E eu fiz a apresentação em inglês, mas eu vou falar os pontos em português. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. Então, eu queria compartilhar um pouco da minha experiência de como foi vir do Brasil para a Dinamarca, para Aarhus especificamente. Eu estudei na Universidade de Aarhus por 2 anos, como a Guida falou, fiz o mestrado em Engenharia Química e queria contar como foi essa transição, como foi estudar e também um pouco de como foi introduzir no mercado de trabalho, quais foram as oportunidades e como é viver aqui. Hoje eu estou na Dinamarca há 6 anos e meio. Vim para o mestrado e daí eu consegui um trabalho logo depois que eu terminei o mestrado. Então, por que eu escolhi a Aarhus University? Quando eu estava pesquisando o mestrado no Brasil, eu queria um lugar que me desse uma oportunidade possível de trabalho, então eu queria muito foco numa comunidade que fosse internacional, no qual eu pudesse agregar valor e que pudesse expandir também o conhecimento e o network com as outras pessoas. Tinha que ser pelo menos alguma universidade que tivesse programa em inglês. Então, como a Guide falou, todos os programas que ela mencionou são em inglês. Então, para mim, também atingir esse requerimento. E essa qualidade de vida que tanto no vídeo, o Ruben mencionou agora, mas também como a Guita falou, que existe tanto aqui na Dinamarca esse equilíbrio entre a vida profissional e a vida pessoal. Então, são esses 3 fatores que me fizeram majoritariamente escolher a Dinamarca como um lugar para vir estudar, primeiramente. Daí, quando eu cheguei aqui, eu coloquei em perspectiva o que eu esperava para aquilo que de fato eu encontrei. Então, em relação a ter uma comunidade internacional, era muito maior do que eu esperava, porque eu tinha essa noção de que os dinamarqueses falavam bem inglês, mas como ela falou, eles falam muito bem inglês. Então, eu fiquei muito surpreso em relação a isso. E tem uma comunidade de vários outros países da Europa, tem várias pessoas da Espanha, de Portugal, da Alemanha, da Eslováquia, da Polônia, da Hungria, da Austrália. Então, cria esse espaço muito aberto para as pessoas criarem novas amizades, fazerem novas relações, por o fato de ter esse foco tanto nessa comunidade internacional. A questão dos programas ingleses eu já mencionei. E uma coisa que a Gates falou também é que o governo ele te oferece a possibilidade de fazer curso de dinamarquês gratuito. Então você recebe é um sistema meio de cupons que daí quando você vem morar na Dinamarca, você tem um período de tempo para usar esses cupons e daí você pode estudar inglês, dinamarquês gratuitamente, você paga um depósito, mas daí quando você passa a prova de cada módulo, você tem a possibilidade de continuar para o próximo módulo até o final e daí quando passar todas as provas receber esse depósito de volta. Ou se você fizer o primeiro módulo e quiser parar, quando você passar a prova do primeiro módulo, você pega o depósito de volta também. Então, a possibilidade para quem quer integrar na cultura e ter oportunidade de conhecer e conversar com pessoas dinamarqueses ou ir para teatros com peças de dinamarquês, eu acho é bem interessante. E também é outra forma de conhecer pessoas novas, porque pessoas que estão indo para o curso de dinamarquês são pessoas que estão no mesmo, nas mesmas situações que você, então é fácil de conectar. Uma coisa que também que me surpreendeu bastante na Dinamarca foi a falta de hierarquia, que aqui não existe, então, de ter uma organização completamente plana, no qual os professores são abertos, no qual os coordenadores são abertos, no qual, como ela falou novamente, a rainha estudou na universidade e morava no dormitório com o próprio estudante. Então, aqui não se tem muito essa visão de que porque eu tenho uma posição melhor, eu sou melhor do que você, ou porque eu tenho mais dinheiro, porque eu tenho um status melhor na sociedade, eu sou melhor que você. Aqui todo mundo é igual. Uma coisa que existe na Dinamarca se chama Janeló, que é que eles fazem questão de todo mundo tem que estar dentro do mesmo nível, que você mostrar que é melhor do que o outro, isso é muito mal visto. Então, essa questão de você ter um carro de último ano e que você vai andar na rua, isso aqui é um pouco mal visto. Depende de pessoas, depende da comunidade que você está, mas no geral, na Dinamarca, é tudo muito, muito plano. É, em estrutura, tanto da universidade quanto do país, é impecável. Então, eu vim da Universidade Federal de Pernambuco, eu sou de Recife, e existia uma precariedade muito grande, eu estudava engenharia química lá, então a qualidade dos equipamentos que a gente tinha equipamentos bons, mas também tinha muita dificuldade em ter recursos para a gente poder aprender a trabalhar com os equipamentos mais novos e a gente poder ter essa vantagem de quando a gente vai para uma empresa dizer que a gente tem experiência. Então foi uma coisa que eu fiquei muito surpreso aqui da gente ter disponíveis os melhores e últimos equipamentos no laboratório ou a disponibilidade de você utilizar e não ter burocracia, como novamente eu costumava encontrar, de para isso você tem que fazer um curso, ou você tem que marcar e você só pode usar ano que vem e daí os professores não deixam você mexer, porque se você quebrar, vai ser mais 2 anos para conseguir o novo. E aqui não, você fala com o professor e você tá disponível o equipamento e toda a infraestrutura para você utilizar. Isso vai novamente da biblioteca, para os laboratórios de informática, para as salas de estudos. Então, eu fiquei muito positivamente impressionado com a infraestrutura da universidade e do país. E uma coisa também que para mim foi bem importante, eu garanti que eu ia ter uma qualidade de vida boa, é ter relações. E daí eu consegui, felizmente, fazer um grande grupo de amigos, tanto internacionais quanto dinamarqueses, para criar essa base. Porque eu acho que a cultura, por ser um pouco diferente, no Brasil, as pessoas serem mais expansivas e de falar com as pessoas na rua, aqui eles são um pouco mais fechados, mas, novamente, sempre estar aberto para falar com você, para te dar uma recomendação, vai ser sempre muito bem educado. Então, tem uma certa abertura, e daí você, dentro desse contexto, você consegue criar um certo tipo de relacionamento. Novamente, tanto com os dinamarqueses quanto os internacionais. E daí, quando eu vim para cá, eu já tinha essa intenção de querer procurar um emprego depois que eu terminasse o mestrado. E antes de eu vir para cá, eu já procurei qual eram as possíveis empresas que eu poderia trabalhar. E daí eu fui no Google, fui no Wikipedia, ver quais eram as maiores empresas dinamarquesas, porque considerando que eu não saberia se eu ia falar inglês, em dinamarquês fluente depois de 2 anos. Então, eu sempre foquei nas empresas multinacionais, porque eu sabia que a língua corporativa seria inglês. Então, essa lista são das 10 maiores empresas, na época que eu procurei, dinamarquesas. E dentro da minha área de engenharia química, eu poderia ter a possibilidade de trabalhar em 6 das 10 maiores empresas dinamarquesas. Então, isso para mim me deu uma ideia de que eu teria muitas possibilidades de emprego no futuro, quando eu terminasse o mestrado. Então, eu fiz o mestrado já tendo isso em mente. Então, as coisas que eu fiz, que eu vou falar um pouco delas, foi já com esse foco, esse objetivo no final, de que eu queria um emprego numa dessas empresas. Então, só para demonstrar um pouco, temos a Lego, eu acho que todo mundo conhece, a Arla, que é uma empresa de laticínios, que é também uma das maiores a maior da Dinamarca, uma das maiores da Europa. A Grundfos, que é de bombas. A Danish Crown, que é de esgoto. E daí tem a Novo Nordisk, que é de medicina. A Carlsberg, que é de bebidas. A Vestas, que é a empresa que eu trabalho atualmente, que é a empresa de energia eólica e outras. Então, tem várias possibilidades de você trabalhar aqui com diferentes setores. E daí, como eu falei, durante o mestrado eu já tinha essa intenção de encontrar um trabalho aqui na Dinamarca, durante o mestrado eu já estava tentando entender como seria a melhor forma de eu entrar no mercado de trabalho, de como eu poderia me capacitar, porque eu não tinha experiência profissional no Brasil. Eu saí do bacharelado direto para o mestrado, então eu achava que eu não tinha uma certa vantagem em relação ao currículo por não ter essa experiência. Então, eu tentava entender o que é que as empresas procuram e como é que eu posso me colocar numa posição competitiva do mercado daqui. Então, eu fui para bastante eventos, por exemplo, esses webinars. Tem bastante eventos de empresas que promovem, que têm feiras que são promovidas tanto pela empresa quanto pela universidade ou pelo Conselho de Engenharia, que aqui se chama ISA. Eles têm um posicionamento muito forte para ajudar os estudantes a serem recolocados no mercado de trabalho, serem introduzidos no mercado de trabalho. Então, eles ajudam bastante a organizar essas feiras, a fazer essa conexão entre o estudante ou o novo graduado com as empresas. Então, é bem forte, bem positivo isso. Tem bastante grupos dentro da universidade de áreas específicas, por exemplo, polímeros ou de ciência da computação, no qual você conhece pessoas que estão de diferentes backgrounds, mas que com o mesmo objetivo. E daí, uma coisa que é muito forte aqui é o fato dele poder te recomendar para um amigo que conhece outro amigo, que acho que é o principal ponto que eu vou falar aqui no final, que é o network. Então, acho que esse é um dos pontos mais fortes da Dinamarca, é você ter e criar essa base de network para daí você conseguir ou ser recomendado, ou você ter pelo menos uma indicação, ou você ter uma noção de qual empresa que você pode ter uma melhor chance de conseguir um emprego depois. E dentro do mestrado tem essas três possibilidades aqui, que é o student job ou internship, que a Git falou um pouco sobre ele, que nós como os brasileiros temos o direito a trabalhar part-time. Então nesse part-time você poderia considerar um student job, que daí você já pode colocar na empresa que você tem interesse. E daí você já consegue criar o network, você já consegue criar uma experiência, você já consegue começar a construir seu currículo da forma como você quer a sua carreira no futuro. A mesma coisa com as internships. E daí tem este projeto com as empresas. que você pode fazer a tese de mestrado, por exemplo, que foi o meu caso. Eu comecei com um student job na, numa empresa que fazia parceria com a Vestas, que é de energia eólica, que eu trabalho agora. E desse student job, ele desenvolveu para minha tese de mestrado. Então, minha tese de mestrado foi desenvolver formas que a gente pudesse reciclar a pá da turbina eólica usando novos componentes químicos. Então, já foi uma forma que eu podia linkar uma coisa que para mim era necessário fazer a tese de mestrado, com ter uma experiência e criar um network com a empresa e usar isso também como base para quando eu tivesse interesse, quando eu terminasse e fosse aplicar para o emprego, eu já poder usar isso a meu favor. E graças a Deus funcionou. Então acho que é uma forma que bastante alunos fazem também. Tiveram os amigos da minha turma que fizeram isso com a Lego, então hoje trabalham no Lego, que fizeram isso com a Novozymes, trabalham na Novozymes. Então é uma forma muito natural de você começar a ter esse vínculo com a empresa. E daí depois, por já conhecer o seu trabalho e saber que você tem capacidade, você é mais fácil e efetivado na empresa. E também tem o Graduate Programs, que é como se fosse uma espécie de trainee, acho que no Brasil começou a ter já esse Graduate Programs, que é um programa de 2 anos, que a empresa reconhece que o estudante recém-formado não vai ter experiência profissional, então pega esses dois estudantes novos formados e por 2 anos faz uma rotação dentro da empresa, no qual você vai ter experiência em diferentes áreas, e depois desses 2 anos, você possivelmente vai ser efetivado. Não é obrigatório que você vai ser efetivado, mas diria que 90% dos casos acontece. Então também é uma forma de, para quem não tem experiência profissional, conseguir esse primeiro contato com as empresas e daí já fazer essa conexão direto. E como eu falei aqui, acho que o principal ponto de todos é networking, é você conhecer pessoas, de você começar a conversar com pessoas dentro da sua área, com pessoas fora da sua área, de você ir para essas feiras de empregos, de conhecer as pessoas que trabalham na empresa, entender o que a empresa pede, como você pode se tornar capacitado para conseguir um emprego naquela empresa. Então, o networking acho que é a principal ferramenta de se introduzir no mercado de trabalho na Dinamarca. E eu coloquei algumas fotos aqui desses eventos que eu participei. Então aqui foi numa feira de estudantes que a gente tinha numa empresa no Alstad, que é uma empresa de energia em Copenhague. Teve uma competição que foi promovida pela Universidade de Aarhus e um diretor do departamento, no qual a gente tinha que desenvolver o case study de um tema que eles davam, cada ano muda, e daí quem é, ganha os 3 primeiros lugares, ganha um prêmio em dinheiro, mas para mim o mais importante é que essa pessoa daqui era um representante da Vestas, que novamente era a empresa que eu queria trabalhar, então durante todo o mestrado eu estava sempre antenado no qual eu vi o nome Vestas. Eu tinha interesse de ir para poder conhecer as pessoas, poder entender. Então, acho que para mim é a maior recomendação. Isso aqui, nós tínhamos o Young Will Ambassadors, que eram estudantes das 5 maiores universidades da Dinamarca, Copenhague, Aarhus, Roskilde, Horsens e Odense, no qual eles pegavam os melhores alunos dessa universidade, você aplicava para participar desse grupo, e era basicamente um grupo de networking, no qual eles promoviam eventos em diferentes cidades, com diferentes temas, chamavam empresas, e daí você conseguiam conectar com alunos de outros países, de outras universidades, de outras áreas, e também com as empresas. Então é uma forma de você abranger essa, essa rede que você tem. E na parte social, que eu queria deixar por último, o qual foi minha vida social ainda hoje morando em Aarhus. É, dentro da universidade tem várias unions e vários clubes, que essas unions e clubes eles promovem esse Friday Bar. Então, Friday Bar é um conceito que tem na Dinamarca, que nas sextas-feiras eles se encontram para tomar uma cerveja. É uma versão dinamarquesa do nosso sextou, mas de uma forma bem mais descontraída. Então, na universidade, eles vendem cerveja mais barato, dentro da própria universidade, promovido pelos próprios professores e coordenadores. Então, é uma forma de você socializar com as pessoas que você estudam, porque você está uma forma descontraída de você conseguir interagir mais e aumentar esse relacionamento, essa conexão que você tem. Então, é uma forma bem legal de você poder conhecer novos amigos. Tem também esse Capsless, que é uma regata que tem em Aarhus, que é um evento que reúne vários estudantes do país todo, então chega a cerca de 40 mil pessoas, se eu não me engano, em Aarhus, dentro do Parque da Universidade. E acontece uma vez por ano, então também eles chegam bem cedo, eles chegam às vezes até 1 hora da manhã para guardar lugar, porque como é uma regata, eles. Na verdade, até acho que eu tenho uma foto aqui. Pronto, essa aqui é a foto aqui da regata. Então essa competição é que eles têm que virar uma garrafa de cerveja, tem que rodar, colocando essa garrafa na cabeça, umas 10 vezes eu acho. Daí eles correm, pulam no barco, remam pro outro lado, faz isso de novo do outro lado e volta. Então, acho que é uma competição meio que engraçada, mas que o legal é ver 40 mil pessoas reunidas para ver esse tipo de atividade. Então, eles chegam, como eu falei, 1 hora da manhã para pegar um lugar bom e começa a beber desde 1 hora da manhã. Isso vai até 5, 6 horas da tarde. Depois tem as after parties. Então, tem uma atividade social bem ativa aqui. Também tem vários festivais de músicas. Tem o maior de Aarhus, que é o Northside. Dentro da Dinamarca tem outros grandes, o Roskilde, tem o Tinderbox. Mas de Aarhus, o Northside é maior. É mais ou menos como se fosse o nosso Lollapalooza, só que de uma dimensão menor. Aí vem bandas internacionais, geralmente é focado no indie rock. Tiveram nomes como a Radiohead, Lana Del Rey, Björk, vários nomes. Acho que vocês colocarem Northside, vocês vão ver. E tem festivais maiores também, Spot, que são um festival que dá foco às novos talentos da Dinamarca. Então é bem legal porque eles trazem grandes nomes dinamarqueses, que para mim, que eu adoro música e festival, é uma boa forma de ser introduzido à cultura dinamarquesa, conhecer novos artistas, conhecer novas bandas. Então, é um festival bem legal. E o radar. E tem também a Christmas Party, que é uma coisa que acontece. Eles têm bastante foco aqui, que é, novamente, se reunir com seus amigos, com os seus colegas da universidade, do trabalho, e fazer um jantar de Natal. Geralmente um pouco antes do Natal, porque o Natal em si, geralmente as pessoas passam com a família, mas é uma forma de celebrar. E daí eu coloquei essas fotos aqui, essa aqui é da regata que eu mencionei. Isso aqui foi uma foto de quando eu completei 25 anos, que daí quando você completa 25 anos e você não tem um relacionamento, eles, por uma brincadeira, te amarram numa árvore e joga, esqueci a palavra em português, cinnamon, canela. Joga canela em você. E se você fizer 30 anos e você não tiver com um relacionamento, ele joga pimenta. Então, acho que é um foco para fazer com que todo mundo tenha um relacionamento até os 30 anos. Mas de brincadeira eles fazem isso, eu achei interessante. Isso aqui foi no festival, no Northside que eu falei, e eu trabalhei lá como voluntário, que daí você pode fazer qualquer serviço como voluntário, também é muito fácil conseguir esse trabalho voluntário, falando inglês, e daí você consegue o ticket do festival, do final de semana todo, e você trabalha, pode ser antes, depois, durante o festival, e consegue curtir o festival. E acho que foi isso que eu tinha preparado, dar um pouco da minha experiência, tanto na parte acadêmica, profissional e social. Então, espero que vocês venham para cá, aproveitem. E é isso. Qualquer dúvida, pode colocar no chat. Estou mais que feliz em responder. Também, se quiser adicionar o LinkedIn depois, posso mandar o link e a gente pode conectar lá. Se tiverem alguma dúvida, também pode mandar para o LinkedIn. Mas é isso, um pouco da overview que eu queria mostrar para vocês. So I will switch back to English and just say that I was concluding my overview. And I hope, Gita, you understood everything in Portuguese.
Thank you, Wilson. Thank you, Gitte. Now we can go through the questions. We got a few. So the first one is, what are the best options for getting scholarship for a PhD course at the university?
Well, as mentioned, there's different ways into a PhD. If you start with a master's degree, you'd have a pretty good opportunity because then the research groups would already know you as the students and your capabilities. Of course, you can also apply directly for PhD. The competition then would be much harder, and you would also, I suggest that you get in contact with the research group that you're interested in and the field. and maybe find a professor and contact them. And I think that would be the best option. There's also some open calls every year. You can go to the PhD website, phd.au.dk, where you can find all the information you need as a prospective PhD student.
Thank you, Gitte. Then the next one is it possible to apply for the dormitory?
Yes. As a non-EU student, we actually also offer a housing service. So you can apply through AU Housing, which will then provide you with a dormitory for the first year. There's also Student Housing Aarhus, which is run by the city, where you can apply for all dorms in Aarhus. Very easy and convenient. And you can sign up for free on the waiting list. And right now, it's really easy to find housing in Aarhus because they're building so many apartments. So unlike a lot of other European cities, it's actually right now really easy to find affordable student housing in Aarhus. So you shouldn't worry about that. Also, we do a housing webinar for every students when they're offered admission, where we tell them more about how to apply for housing.
Okay, really good to know. And what are the key academic programs and research areas that Aarhus University is renowned for?
I think there's a lot. As mentioned, we are one of the best in the world within cryptology and other computer science specialties. We have a Nobel Prize in chemistry and also one in economics. We rank really high also within dentistry and archaeology and anthropology. Our engineering department is rather new when it comes to research, but the research output is very high and there's a lot and it's growing areas. So it's you won't see them high in the ranking yet, but you'll see a lot of interesting things going on and you'll see a lot of renowned professors being recruited to the departments there.
Okay, and related to this, we also have why is Denmark better from other Scandinavian countries for an international student?
I think I can answer a little bit. Maybe Wilson can also say what he thinks about Denmark. I don't know if it's which Scandinavian country is the best. I think for winter, it might be nice that Denmark is a little bit more south than Norway and Sweden, so it won't get as dark and as cold. Also a better access to the rest of Europe. Denmark just changed the rules that you can now stay up for 3 years after graduation if you want to stay here and work, which is also changing a little bit in other countries. What else? Well, Aarhus is very affordable compared to some of the other Scandinavian cities. And we have a very good student community. I don't think I mentioned it, but Aarhus has also been voted the best student city in Denmark 3 years in a row by the students in Denmark. So I think it's a very good place to be an international student. And we hear from our international students that our biggest problem is actually that Aarhus is not very known, because when they finally find it, they really like it here. And Wilson, now I'm talking like a marketing machine, so maybe you can say what's true and not.
No, I think everything that you said is true. I cannot really compare living in all the Scandinavian cities because I haven't lived in another Scandinavian city. But like comparing to what I hear, see to what I actually experience in Denmark, I think everything that you said, I think is cheaper compared to Norway and Sweden. It's definitely cheaper. Not to Brazil, but to the other Scandinavian cities. As you said, is brighter and warmer, which I cannot believe that me, a Brazilian, will be saying that Denmark is a bright and warm country. But again, compared to the other Scandinavian city, it is. And also something that I really like about Denmark is that the fact that it is a small city, I think it really feels a sense of community here, a sense of belonging, that everyone treats each other somehow as family. I mean, not to the sense of you're gonna know everyone, but I get that feeling that, yeah, you feel cozy at home, and yeah, you have a sense of belonging in a way, which again, compared to Sweden, being as big as Sweden is, so I would not imagine to have the same there.
Oh, wow, thank you. It was really interesting. And thank you, Wilson, also for sharing your experience. Then we also have another question. Does it have a master degree with focus in production engineering?
We have one in mechanical engineering. I didn't present that today. And you would see some study lines within mechanical engineering that might fit what you mean with production engineering. We also have one in Herning, our other campus, that's called Technology-Based Business Development, which is also an engineering program, but with a focus also on the business side. So you can look into that one as well on our website.
Okay, then we have few questions related to languages. The first is there a mandatory level of English to enter?
Yeah, you need an English language test to apply. As mentioned in the presentation, we both take IELTS, TOEFL, Cambridge. For TOEFL, it's 83, and for IELTS, it's 6.5. And another thing compared to other Nordic universities, we don't have like you need at least 6 in the different tests in IELTS. We just have an average of 6.5. So it's a little bit easier actually than most of the Swedish universities.
And we have also, can you study Danish during the studies, and does Aarhus offer a language course?
Yeah, as also Wilson mentioned, you can take Danish classes for free and study while you take your degree. Wilson, did you do that in the beginning?
Yes. I was gonna say, you really understood my Portuguese, huh? But yeah, you can study for free, and yeah, you can take during the program, the master's program. Because I think one thing that for me was very different from Brazil is that you have a lot of free time for self-study here from the university. So that gives you a lot of freedom to do all the activities. Again, the life-work balance quality in Denmark. So then you have the time, you have the chance, and it's for free to be able to study Danish. I don't think it's provided by the Aarhus University, but it's provided by the commune, so the municipality,
Yeah, but
the
some of
government.
the classes will be offered also on
Oh,
campus.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And related to this, we have a personal question that is it difficult to learn Danish?
It is. It is difficult, but I'll put in context. So from a person that already knows, has learned another language, so the process of learning a new language is the same. So you have to study, you have to get the basics, you have to study the grammar, you have to vocabulary. Vocabulary is everything. And then you have to practice. If you don't practice, you're not gonna improve, right? So knowing English, which I imagine that all here knows English, so then the mindset of learning Danish should be the same. For me personally, what has been most difficult is the pronunciation because we have a lot of words that we don't have in Brazil, like there are a lot of sounds, a lot of way to make sound that comes from the back of the throat that is very difficult. But again, with practice, then it's doable. But yeah, for me, it was a bit difficult in that sense.
Thank you. And then we have the last question, and it is, could you repeat again what is the next step for this process?
The process of applying, or which process do they refer to?
I think the process of applying.
Okay, well, first of all, the application system opens now on 1st of November, and then you have to apply before 15th of January. Then as a non-EU, you would get a reply to your application in early to mid-March, and then you have to accept your offer of admission before 1st of April. And before the 1st of April, you'll also be told if you get a tuition fee waiver or not. Then before 1st of May, you need to send in your English language test. And then you would have to pay your tuition fee before 15th of June if you don't get the waiver. And then you start your studies in late August with the introduction week. And studies semester will start around 1st of September.
Okay, so I would say that we're done with the questions. So thanks again, Gitte and Wilson, to be with us today. And thanks to everyone to have joined us today, to have been so curious and also responsive with the questions. I hope you learned a lot about Aarhus University and that this webinar helped you to make the decision to actually choose this amazing university and why not to live in this country. So if you're interested in receive our certificate of attendance, you can click the link that I just sent in the chat. We will share the recording with you in the following days, so please check your email. And at this point, I would also ask to Gitte and Wilson if you want to leave a message before saying goodbye to our participants.
Well, first of all, just thank you for everyone who joined in today and showed some interest in Aarhus University. I hope our presentation helped in your decision making. We know it's a very big decision to make, and we will do our very best if you choose Aarhus University to live up to everything we said today, and also to help you get the best start to your life in Denmark.
From me, just want to say boa sorte e espero ver vocês aqui. That's it.
Okay, so thanks again, everyone. I hope to see you again in the next webinar. Bye, have a nice day.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.